Out here, the ambient air temperature regularly hits 50 degrees Celsius. Staying outdoors for even a few hours in the summer can be fatal. Yet despite the lethal conditions, the Thar Desert in India holds a surprising record. It is the most heavily populated desert on Earth. This bar chart shows exactly what these populations are up against. While India's national average rainfall sits around 1,200 millimeters, the Thar receives a severely diminished 200 to 300 millimeters. Living here requires strict discipline. Survival depends entirely on mastering the exact timing of daily activities to avoid the worst of the sun. This diagram illustrates what locals treat as their real clock. Instead of hours, the village operates on a rising temperature metric. By 10 a.m., the thermometer hits a hard deadline, nearing 55 degrees Celsius in the sun. Because of this tightening window, camel herders like Sadiq commit to massive distances long before dawn. Guiding his animals, he will cover up to 200 kilometers over 2 days, relying entirely on the early morning shade. Failing to complete chores or secure shelter before the thermal window closes has immediate physiological consequences. The intense dry heat accelerates dehydration rapidly, making a simple miscalculation deadly. Every morning is a race against an invisible rising threat. Oversleeping or dawdling simply isn't an option. By midday, the environment turns actively hostile. While the ambient air temperature hovers around 50 degrees, the surface temperature of the sand is significantly deadlier. This dune cross-section demonstrates the thermodynamics at play. Incoming solar radiation is trapped, concentrating heat just below the surface, up to 70 degrees Celsius. Walking is exhausting as feet sink deep into these trapped heat zones, exposing the body to extreme thermal radiation. To survive on this burning ground, elders like Hukumdada rely on a specific micro-adaptation. They wear especially hardened, thick leather shoes designed to block the worst of the heat from entering their soles. The ground itself acts as a thermal trap. Even a short walk requires intense physical stamina and highly specialized protective gear. To keep livestock alive during peak summer months, families pay 1,000 rupees for a single water tanker just to replenish their local wells. Their diet is equally calibrated for endurance. Villagers prepare dense foods like chorma, a mixture of millet, ghee, and jaggery, providing massive caloric intake without the sluggishness of heavy digestion. Their homes reflect the same ingenuity. Thick mud walls and thatched roofs create passive cooling chambers, offering safe refuge from the midday sun. The physical conditioning required to live here starts young. Village children routinely trek up to 8 kilometers through this extreme climate, entirely on foot, just to attend basic schooling. Survival here requires an engineered system. It relies on specific diets, thermal architecture, and deep generational physical endurance. As evening arrives and the temperature finally drops, the shepherds begin guiding their flocks back from grazing perimeters that often stretch 20 kilometers away. There is an absolute interdependence here. The animals rely entirely on the humans to pull water from the deep wells, and the humans rely entirely on the animals for their economic survival. If a sheep or goat is exhausted or injured by a local predator like a fox, the shepherd will physically carry the animal across the dunes. No part of the flock is left behind. Neither man nor beast can survive the Thar Desert in isolation. Their existence is tied to a collective symbiotic pact. But a new external pressure is now creeping into the deep desert, rapidly expanding modern renewable energy infrastructure. The intense solar radiation that makes traditional life so punishing is exactly what attracts massive corporate investments in solar and wind farms. For the locals, these installations represent a direct threat to their livelihood. They fear the sprawling panels and turbines will consume the already scarce grazing lands, stripping the flocks of their only food source. True resilience here isn't simply about enduring the sun, but maintaining a precise, centuries-old navigation of this hostile landscape, a balance that outside forces now threaten to disrupt.